Interesting here. If you find yourself glued to Project Runway, maybe keeping up with the latest fashion trends, maybe you can turn your love of fashion actually into a career. Joining me now is fashion designer Lawrence Allen. Good to see you here this morning. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
This is something so interesting. Even during the break here, we're chatting a lot.
I know.
Because there's so much that goes into it, and you have a very interesting background of how you got into fashion design. Tell us about that.
Well, it started when I was a little kid. My grandmother was a seamstress for a bra company, and my aunt basically graduated from Florida State in the merchandising department. So I got to see the beginning and the end of everything. So it was really interesting to see these huge, massive machines going, whipping out something, and my grandmother like putting this thing together in 3 minutes or less, and it was like, whoa. Then seeing my aunt sell it, it was just crazy. So from beginning to end, it just made me appreciate it and be like, okay, this is something I could do.
That's something I think a lot of people who, love kind of putting outfits together that are maybe already created, just pulling pieces from here and there, they might not think about the sewing aspect of it. They might not think about the sales aspect of it. They're two kind of different things. You have the artistic side, but the business side kind of have to come together to be a fashion designer. What's your best advice for people out there?
I would say go ahead and take classes. Also go to school. It's one of the things, like, you can do it, but it's going to be challenging, like any job. If you really love it, you're going to go through it. You're going to have your ups, you're going to have your downs, you're going to have basically people like really ripping your style apart. And you got to be thick-skinned. And if you're not, this is not going to be a fun industry.
This is something I have to imagine all the blood, the sweat, the tears, and the late nights and the stress has to really do something special, though, at the end of the day when you can put on a fashion show or when you can see someone walking down the street and they're wearing something that you thought of, you sketched, you sewed, and now they're wearing it. What is that feeling like?
That's like one of the most accomplishing feelings that you could ever feel. Like, you sit there, you're just working hard, and next thing you know, someone like purchases something from you, or they're wearing your outfit, and they notice you, like, hold on, I've been in your fashion show, it's amazing. I love your piece. How can I get it? You're like, oh yes. Now you're sitting at 3 in the morning designing this one special dress for someone, and then you're like, oh no, I ripped it.
Right. You have that, you have to be very careful with it. This is something too, of course, we always see fashion on a runway and it's over the top and maybe couture and avant-garde, but then you designed this shirt yourself, and this one is pretty special as well. Yeah,
it's lightweight. I mean, it's for us in the South. I really wouldn't design my clothes as far as Southern based because it's hot down here and things of that nature. And it's pink. I really am with the American Cancer Society. I helped them out with things. We're going to be doing the stuff next month. I do a fashion show for breast cancer. So it's a lot of things that I do.
So there's a lot of really, kind of paying your dues. We see in a whole lot of careers. Oh, yeah. This one especially, I feel like you kind of have to realize you're not going to become, this well-known. Exactly. No. This is something that takes a lot of years and a lot of work. So what would you recommend for people out there?
Don't give up. I mean, it took Michael Kors 30 years to basically get where he was. It took Ralph Lauren 20 years. So it's like the part of never giving up, never surrendering. I'm going to keep fighting myself. It's like one of the things where I've grown and keep growing and keep growing. I've had people look at my stuff in Germany, which I was actually surprised that we saw a huge growth in Germany looking at our website and checking things out. So I can't wait for the next level. So we're going to do shows in Atlanta, Charleston, Charlotte, Orlando, Houston. There's a couple more places. I'm just traveling next year.
This is something so exciting. One day we're all going to have a bag that says Lawrence Allen on it.
I like that.
And I am looking forward to it. Thank you so much for being here. We certainly appreciate it. All of his advice, so you can see it one more time, going to be online, WTXL.tv.